Hi, I'm Corey. There are a lot of subcultures in life, and especially in school. I'm going to take you on a journey where we're going to discover the world of high school subcultures.
What is a subculture to you?
Subculture to me is a group of people, maybe the way they act, the way they dress, their friends, where they hang out.
There's the PC kids.
PC?
Like people, they think they're all that. Well, I guess popular in a way. There's the body people.
Stereotypes that people are based into. So all the populars and then the nerds, it's just what people think you as. It's what defines you almost.
Yeah.
I believe myself to be part of the popular group at Centenary State High School, and a mix of the popular group and the music group.
In New Zealand, I was just hanging out with all the New Zealanders. Kaylee and Cassie have always been hanging out with all the Islanders, all the Bobs.
For me, I came from a town where there was like all white people and I was the only black chick, so coming here is like weird, and I fit in with them.
Do you think being part of the performing arts makes you part of a specific group?
I think it does. We're all very close. It's a tight-knit group. We're all very like-minded, so to be able to work with people who have the same views on stuff as you, it makes you a specific group, yeah.
Yeah, it's, as she says, it is a group of like-minded people, and I suppose the fact that we're all working towards this one sort of singular outcome, one singular goal, really, makes it so that they're a group of people that you get to know really well, and you get to know, which again is due to the fact that you spend so many hours practicing and rehearsing with them. So yeah, it is very much a special group.
It's not really what I think that matters, because I'm an individual and society holds sway in this world. So what society thinks of me is apparently more important. They would conceive me as a geek, I am sure, yes. And resultantly, that is what I am. Society has deemed that a geek is somebody who doesn't necessarily have to be academic, but primarily focuses on a fiction or a concept, or just something that they can hold on to. Something that doesn't even need to be real. Some geeks can focus on bionic limbs, for example, which are real. Some can focus on Star Wars, which I wish was real.
So, what's your normal routine as a arts member?
Our routine can be pretty hectic. I suppose for me, there's quite a few mornings where I'm down here at 7:30 rehearsing for different ensembles, and then we could even be at school right through till 5, 6 o'clock that night rehearsing for extracurricular stuff or even our assessments. It's very busy, and you might even end up giving up your weekends here and there to do stuff with the arts, so it can be very full on.
As Alex said, I'll just basically reiterate what she said. An interesting sort of an example I can give you, I suppose, is when when we did this school musical Romeo and Michelle, a weekend that I had an assignment due on the Monday, found myself down in CPAC painting a box that was going to be used in one scene. You know what I mean? Like, it's that sort of, you have to be really committed, and in terms of the actual schedule, as she says, there are mornings and nights that could end up meaning you have to stay here till 10 o'clock at night.
The geeks don't need to be academically skilled, whereas they just need to have that fiction to hold on to. Nerds, on the other hand, don't need to have any fiction like that. They mainly are judged as nerds based on their academic prowess.
it sometimes gets to the point where you sit with your other friends and, you know, you're kind of so stuck doing art stuff that that's all you tend to talk about, and, you know, the other people are kind of sitting there going, well, can't you talk about anything else, sort of thing. So it can get a bit frustrating in that sense, and you kind of lose touch with what's around you sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, as we said, it is a huge time commitment, and especially leading up to the big productions, it becomes so that it almost, you know, consumes your entire life. Like every waking hour, you're almost thinking about it. So it's very difficult to just, you know, talk about anything else, because it's, you know, it's everything that you're doing at that time. So it can, you know, as Alex said, people who aren't so, you know, aren't as inclined to be in the arts program and aren't as interested find it a little frustrating, because it's all we talk about, really, at points anyway.
So how do you view other subcultures, and how do other subcultures view you?
Well, generally they don't like me or any geeks or any nerds. That's mainly because the majority of society is made up of the more mainstream subcultures, which at the moment are the jocks and the cool kids, or their later in life counterparts. Because of that, I don't see that I need to have an overwhelming amount of respect for them unless they have respect for me. So I respect them as people, but I don't really devote very much of my time to what they do. At least 3 times a month, I have people approaching me asking me to do their assignments or homework for them. I tell them that I require a $200 fee or it's not going to happen.
So do you find being in the arts group makes you more creative?
Not necessarily. I mean, everybody can be creative in their own way. I just think as an arts person, it's easier for us to be creative in our everyday life, because that's what we're doing. We're making music, we're dancing, we're acting different pieces, and, you know, you could have maths and science students who are doing different equations in a certain creative way. So everybody can be creative.
Yeah, it's I suppose it's like the cheats way to being creative, really. Like, it's like you have, as soon as you're doing it, you're being creative.